In this two-part video series, I'm going to show you how to manage that Outlook email inbox of yours. In the first part, we look at how to organize things inside your inbox, and in the second part, we'll look at some quick actions that can make your life easier. In the first video, we'll look at how to view your emails as conversations, or view your emails according to where you were mentioned. We look at creating categories, sorting your emails into folders, using quick steps to change your life, creating rules, and adding your mostly used folders to favorites. Let's get going. Let's kick off with view as conversations and view mentions. So open in front of me is my inbox, and I'm going to show you how to view your emails as conversations. Go to the View tab and just tick this box, Show as Conversations. So here you can see it's a typical conversation. If you click on this little triangle, it's going to open up the conversation. You may have to click on it twice, so do make sure that you open up all the emails that are featured, which are forming part of this conversation. So the very first one is the email that I sent, and then thereafter somebody may have replied to your email, another person may have replied, you may have forwarded to someone, and all those emails related to this specific conversation are featured here under one conversation, nicely grouped together. So this works very well for me. There's one danger. If you look at this quickly, it may look like you've got very few emails. However, it's very important to make sure that you do click this arrow so that it opens up the conversations. When I take this off, you'll see that this conversation is now spread out. Here's one, there's another email, and there's another email. Now also, another thing to explore is to go to conversation settings and just see if any of these options appeal to you. For me, show messages from other folders and show senders about the subject. This works very well for me, but you can try always expand the selected conversation, which means it will just be in the expanded format the whole time. Or you can go use classic indented view. So there's various ways to get this done. Okay, so here you can see all these sent emails. So play around with this. There's definitely a lot of value in this show as conversation function. Yes, but get used to it. So it will definitely take some time to get used to. Then another thing that I want to show you is to view the mentioned email. So these are emails where you were mentioned in. So somebody may have mentioned you. Here, we typed something in and somebody mentioned me. It will mean that all these long emails where multiple people are involved in, it may be that somebody mentions your name to give you a specific instruction or ask you to note something. So then you can easily see at your name and surname, and these are the emails that pertains to you specifically. Now you may have heard of the concept inbox zero. Now that means that you don't have any emails in your inbox. Now imagine that. Now the reason why I'm using the inbox zero method is that if a time slot has been allocated in your calendar to process your emails, in my case it's twice a day, there's no reason why any emails should hang around in my inbox. Process means they're processed. If they hang around in my inbox, it means that I'm going to read over them multiple times, it just wastes my time and it causes anxiety. So I say you choose what you want to do with your emails and you do it. Some emails are archived, some are turned into meetings, some become to-dos, and once they have been processed, they need to leave your inbox. In this way, you'll also make sure that you don't miss any new emails because they won't get buried amongst the masses. Now, there's two different methods that you can use. It's either to allocate categories to your emails, or you can immediately just put them into different folders. I'll show you both methods and I'll show you which method I find the most appealing. The first one is the category method, where you allocate categories. And once you've allocated categories to your emails, you can use the quick steps to move them out of your inbox into a specific action folder. And inside that action folder, you can view them according to their categories and process them thereafter. So let's see how to allocate categories to your emails. So one way to organize your inbox is to create categories. Now, in the Home tab, you go to Categorize, and here you go to All Categories, and there you have an option to create new categories. So at the moment, I've created a category for my urgent action, for my action, one for the scheduled task, waiting input, and then there's a few others as well. But these are the main 4 ones. And you'll see that I've numbered them 1, 2, 3, 4. There's one additional category that I would like to create, and that is for, let's call it read later. For those emails that come in that I can't give attention to at the moment, but I would like to read it at some stage. Now, as your emails come in, you can right click on them and go to Categorize and just add a category to them. You can also go to Categorize here and categorize. Now, when the time comes for you to respond to emails, you can view your emails in your categories, which will also make it easier to see where are the urgent ones, so you can quickly respond to them, where are the read later ones for my action. But the problem with this system is it's still hanging around in your inbox. And I'll show you how to use quick steps later to remove these from your inbox so that you don't hover over them multiple times. The other reason why I'm not using this specific system with the categories is because I prefer to view my emails as conversations. And when I sort as categories, I can't view them as conversations like I have done here. And that's why I stick to the folder system, which I'll show you later. Okay. So see if you can use the categories. They are very useful. I'll show you how to use quick steps a bit later, and that will make this system much easier to use. Now, an alternative system to allocating categories to your emails is to using quick steps to allocate them to folders. And this is the system that I'm using. Now let me show you how I organize my inbox using folders. Now here's a folder that says urgent action. Those are for the emails that come in that requires me to act within the next 24 hours. Now these exclude the emails that I can quickly respond to within 5 minutes, because those I can process as soon as I can. But the rest of them will end up in this folder. Then I've got a scheduled folder. Those are for the emails that requires a meeting. You may want to get back to those emails after your meeting with some follow-up notes or follow-up actions, and then you know where to find them. Then here's a folder for action. Every single email that ends up in this folder gets scheduled as a to-do on my to-do app. And then they go into action so that they're in a safe place and out of my inbox. Then these are the emails awaiting input, where I'm awaiting input from a colleague in order to finalize a matter. I've created this folder that says action, important, not urgent. These are for the emails that comes in, those typical important, not urgent matters that we read so much in productivity books. And those are the specific folder that I deem very important, where we need to go through the folder and make sure that we do act out whatever's in here. Those are the long-term things that matter for career building. Typical, important, but not urgent. So it's being put on the back burner very easily. Then there's a folder that says check out at some stage. Those are the emails that come in that I would love to read, but there's just no time at the moment, and I keep them safe in this folder. Now, you can, as soon as an email comes in, you can create a to-do item in your to-do list, whether it's an app or a hard copy, and then you can drag them into these folders. And here's an urgent one, and another urgent one. And you can go on like this until your inbox is clean. However, there is an easier way. You can use quick steps to get this done for you within a click of a button. So I'm going to show you how to use quick steps. For now, I just wanted to show you how I organize things in here. Now, once you are done with an item and it's ready to be processed, I know many people say that Outlook has got very good search features these days, and that is true. However, I feel anxious if I just think about the fact that I'm saving all my emails in one big archive folder and trusting on the search function to find an email from January the 2nd, if it's now October the 14th. So I have a whole bunch of folders where I archive each and every specific item or topic as soon as it's done. My advice to you is not to have folders with subfolders, because then it just takes a lot of time to find the right folder. Have a few large categories of folders, but if you feel comfortable with archiving all your emails in one large archive folder, that's perfectly fine as well, as long as you have a system that works well for you. Now let me show you how the quick steps function can change your life. Next up, let's look at quick steps. Let me show you how the quick steps function can really make your life so much easier. So here you have your inbox, and you've already decided which system you are using, whether you're going to categorize each of these emails, move it into one specific folder, going to move it maybe into separate folders. Whichever system you decide on, that's perfectly fine. Quick steps will make your life easier. So go to the Home tab, click on Quick Steps. And here are a whole bunch of quick steps that I've created. For example, when I click Urgent Action, the email will be flagged. That says follow up today. The reason why I flag emails is because it appears in my Microsoft To Do app under a category of flagged emails, and then you can immediately see a big picture of what's going on in your inbox or in your emails, what is required of you. It will also move this email to the Urgent Action folder. It will set it as important and will mark it as unread. So the reason why I want it to be marked as unread is I want to see what is going on in this Urgent Action folder, because according to my system, I need to respond to the emails that says Urgent Action within the next 24 hours. So you can set your own systems up. For example, this one schedules an email that you receive that requires a meeting. It schedules it as an appointment. So it creates an appointment and it moves it to the scheduled folder. Each one of these have got multiple steps that it goes through, which is very useful. So with one click of a button, you just perform multiple steps. So you can go to New, go to Custom, and there you can give your quick step a name. And you can move it to a folder, copy it to a folder, delete it, permanently delete it, mark it as read, unread. So there's a lot of things that you can do. So if you use the system of allocating categories, you can easily allocate categories or clear categories. So there's a lot of how you respond. You can create a quick response where even the wording of your response is already included in the email, and you can just press send once you're ready. Creates an appointment and a few other options. So let me show you in practice how it works. So here's an email that requires an action. Let's say I've already, I'm going to schedule it as a to-do, create a to-do. I'm using Microsoft To Do, so I would like it to be added to my To Do app. You can set the dates, the due date, the priority, whichever else is needed, and you save and close. And then I'm ready for it to be filed away. It doesn't have to hang around in my inbox. As soon as I scheduled it as a to-do, there's no reason why I need to hover over it multiple times, and it will just create anxiety. So it will be scheduled as a to-do, It will have a deadline. It won't be out of my view and sight forever, but it doesn't have to be in my inbox where I have the standard chance to process it multiple times, which just wastes time. So I click on my action, and there it goes into the action folder. This one is an urgent one. I want to respond to it within the next 24 hours, and it moves to urgent action. And you'll see that there were 7 unread emails there, and now there's 8. So it marks it as unread immediately because I want to know what's going on in this folder. And then all of these, you can decide what you want to do with them. This is interesting info. So I want to take it to the folder that says check out at some time, or the read later folder. This one requires a meeting. So I'm going to just click on my schedule, quick step, ask for a meeting, please. You can set your meeting whichever way you want, save and close, and immediately after setting the meeting, that email is moved to scheduled. And now action required, again, you can create your to-do list item, whether it's in hard copy or on your Microsoft To-Do app, and when you're done, click on my action and it's gone. Same with urgent action. And this is what Inbox Zero looks like. So use the quick steps. Make sure you adapt your quick steps according to the system that works well for you, whether you put your emails in folders, whether you prefer to keep them in your inbox and just categorize them, or whether you categorize them and file them away all in one action folder. So try that out and see what works for you. Now let me show you how creating rules can make your life easier. Now let's say this specific email comes from a sender and it's a newsletter which you enjoy reading, and you really want to read this newsletter at some stage, but you want it to be moved to a specific folder immediately as it enters your inbox. Now for this, you can create a rule. You can go to the Home tab, Rules, Create Rule, and here you can set a few conditions for this rule to be followed through. So you can say that all emails from a specific sender, maybe it contains a specific subject, sent to me only, sent to others. You can state to which folder it needs to go to, select your specific folder. And then once you set this rule, all emails that comes into your inbox will immediately go into a specific folder. So it will just mean that you don't have to manually process each of those valuable newsletters that come in, but it will go to your to read later folder automatically, and it just saves you some time. Now the last tip when it comes to organizing your inbox is around adding frequently used folders to favorites. You may prefer not to use folders at all, and that's perfectly fine. I prefer to use folders. My advice to you is not to have too many subsystems or too many folders. But one thing that works well is to add the folders that you use most frequently as favorites. So it's easy to do. Just go to right click, and then you go to add to favorites, and it will end up here in your favorite list. So it will just make it easy to quickly drag and drop the most frequently received type of emails into your favorite folders. Now that we are done with part 1 of this video series, it's now time for you to go and play around with the tips and tricks that works best for you according to your system. The very first thing that you need to do is to figure out what will work best for you. And thereafter, go back to this video and go and apply the instructions as shown in this video. It is possible that you're going to have to tweak things. It's going to take a bit of time to get used to your new system, but once you're used to it, you're going to save a lot of time. Now be sure to go on, and when you're ready, watch part 2 of this video series where we're going to look at some quick actions to make your life easier. If you found this video helpful, smash the like button. For more useful tips to boost your research experience, subscribe to my channel by clicking the subscribe button below this video. And while you're at it, hit the bell so that you get notified whenever I produce a new video. If you need a solution to a challenge not yet covered on my channel, leave a comment in the box below. See you in the next video.